Hello everyone, I hope that you're doing well today. And in this video, I'm going to be making some gluten-free pumpkin pie, and I'm going to decorate a little bit for fall. I know it's not fall yet, but because I'm making some pumpkin pie, I thought it would be cool to kind of decorate and have a fresh baked pie out at the same time. And the reason that I'm doing this now is because this is going to be expiring in October of this year. So I thought, let me just get this taken care of. And I already have a box of gluten-free flour, and this is enough to make a bottom and top crust. So I am going to do a lattice top crust. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get right into this. Okay, so I have my mixer out. I'm going to be using that. You don't have to. And then on the crust recipe, it's saying that we need 1 cup of cold cut in cubes butter, and that's about 16 tablespoons. Now I have butter like this, so I'm going to take this, attempt to put it in this tablespoon and then cut it up a little bit and then put it into our mixing bowl. Okay, so I have my cubed cut butter in here, and now it's saying to pour the whole box, the whole mix in here. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now it says to work the butter until evenly crumbly, leaving some pea-sized pieces intact. Alright, so I'm just finishing this up with mixing it with my hands a little bit, just so I can break up the butter a bit easier. It's kind of hard to do it in the mixer, but that's okay. Okay, that looks good enough for me. Okay, so the next ingredient that we need is 4 to 6 cold tablespoons of water. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in this container. Okay, so I'm gonna add it and continue the mixer. It's saying to divide it just enough to make cohesive dough. And then afterwards, we're going to have to divide it in half, shape it into discs, and then let it refrigerate for 15 minutes. Okay, I think I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon really quick. So what I'm going to do is try to form this more into a ball, and then I'm going to place it on the counter and then divide it in half. I might have to set this on the counter. It's not terrible. Get some of this flour. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is divide this in half, and I'm gonna make one half a little bit bigger than the other one because this calls for a 9-inch pan, and I have a 9.5-inch, so I want to see if maybe I can kind of fit more at the bottom than I can up top. And we're gonna divide them. I'm gonna put them in plastic wrap, cover them up, and just let them sit in the fridge for about 15 minutes. So let me go ahead, here I'll use this. I'm gonna divide this. And it also says to make them into discs. So to try to make it as flat as possible. Now I've never messed with gluten-free flour in a way where I was making pie crust, so this might be a little tricky. I know how gluten-free bread is, like how to make it, and the consistency of it and stuff. So I'm kind of curious if this is going to be like easy or if it's going to be kind of awkward. But regardless, we'll figure it out. And you know, I think it's good to always try new things because sometimes you never know. Maybe I'll wind up liking this better than the normal crust. So, oops, kind of broke apart underneath. Hold up. I almost want to like use a spatula to pick it up. See, this is what I'm nervous about. Gluten-free doesn't, push it on here. Gluten-free doesn't really stick together well. Hence, why it's the way that it is as being gluten-free, because the gluten in wheat flour is what makes it stick. So that's part of the challenge with the gluten-free, especially when you're making breads. That is very difficult. I give props to the people out there that can do it. Because back when I was making it, it was out of a box. I'm trying to like push it around a little. Okay, that worked. I kind of moved it around on the counter a bit and then I could lift it. I need a little bit of a longer piece. Okay, I'm gonna plop these in the fridge for 15. Okay, and as I wait for that, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the kitchen a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna prep a little bit more. I need to lay down parchment paper in between the pie crust and use the rolling pin to roll so that it doesn't stick and, you know, get kind of annoying. So what we're gonna do is take this and just kind of get the same size as the pan. Okay, I've let them sit in there for around 15 minutes. So now I'm going to attempt to roll them out. Okay, that worked out a lot easier than I thought it would. So now I need to place this on here. I'm trying to think about how I could do it. I'm almost thinking about doing this and then flipping this. You know what, that wasn't too bad. I just need to make sure that it's touching the bottom. Okay, I was able to push it all in there. I just took a lot of what was hanging off of the edge of the outer edge right here, and I just pushed it all down in there. So what I'm going to be doing now is getting the other one flattened out, and then before I place them on, I'm going to put the puree in. Okay, I got this flattened out, and so before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven. So I'm going to be following the instructions on how to bake this with the can, and this one just says that the crust should be baked until golden brown, and it may take 5 to 10 minutes longer than wheat crust. So on here, it says to preheat it for 425 and bake in the oven for 15 minutes and then reduce the heat to 350 and then bake for 30 to 40 minutes or until the pie edges are firm and the center is set. And then it says you have to let it cool on a wire rack for 2 hours. Okay. I messed up. And I even have a bigger problem too. So it's telling me I gotta do all of this and add it into the pumpkin puree. Now, I don't have milk. I don't have milk at all. I have coconut milk, but I don't think that's gonna, I don't know, I don't think that's gonna work with this. I'm gonna see if I can put it in a bowl. funny because we were at the grocery store the other day and I was thinking to get milk, but we don't usually drink milk, so I thought, nah, I don't need it. I'm not going to be able to get all of it out, but I think if I mix it well enough, kind of while it's in here, I think I can get away with it. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this situated. Okay, so this is the mixture with all of the seasonings and eggs and stuff like that in there. I haven't put in the milk yet because I did read online that I can put coconut milk in there. It will have a little bit of a coconut nut smell, but that's okay. And because it's asking for 3 cups worth of this, I'm gonna have to add water in as well. But before I mix in the water, I can mix it with cornstarch and kind of make it thick first and then mix it in, because water is not recommended. But because I literally don't have any milk at all other than this can, we're gonna make do with what we have, because you know what, that's what people would have done back then, especially knowing that maybe running to the grocery store back then wasn't an option. So we're gonna make do with what we have, and I'm gonna add this and then add the water, mix this up, and then pour it in. Okay, I've got my mixture made. It may be a little, you know, runnier than what it should usually be, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in. I might have too much. I definitely have way too much. I didn't expect that, so we're gonna leave it. I'm gonna put the top crust on. I'm gonna show you guys a way that I can do like a fake lattice, especially with the gluten-free stuff, because I think I'm gonna have a tricky time doing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that next. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just make some cuts. I am making these very crooked, and I apologize. All right. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be super difficult to pick up because I've let these sit here for a little bit too, so it's not as cold. Let me see. Might have to use a spatula. Try to connect that again. It's somewhat working. All right, to make the ends look nice, I'm just gonna go around with a fork, just push in. All right, time to put it in the oven. I gotta be really careful. Okay, so the first time that we're cooking it, yes, it's gonna be for 15 minutes on 425. Then we're gonna lower the heat after that. 15 minutes. Okay, and as I wait for the pie, I'm gonna go ahead and open up some of our fall stuff.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Never the same. Never calling my name, I'm taking my sweet time.
Okay, now I need to turn it down to 350 for about a half hour to 40 minutes. So we're gonna start off with a half hour and then see if it needs to be cooked more or not.
Whatever the plan, I'm holding the best of me out of my hand. Crying all your misunderstand. Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire.
Okay, so the last thing that I have are these placemats, and as you can see, I'm in the middle of doing a sewing project. I don't want to show you guys yet because that will be a future video, probably a little later, not anytime soon, because this is meant for someone. I don't know if they watch my YouTube or not, so I'm not going to show it. But anyway, because this is in the way, I'm just going to place one placemat here for now, and then once everything gets clear, then I'll finish it off with the other placemats. And I like these placemats too. I got them from the antique store. Regardless if they were handmade or not, I don't really know. But I like that they're different. Like I have two of the same, but then I also have two that are different. And I didn't realize it at first when I got them, but I think they add a little character, a little pizzazz. And I want to learn how to make stuff like this, and especially now I know how to sew and I have the sewing machine. I am going to be tempted to make stuff like that. I think that'd be really fun. So I got all of my fall decor up, and I just love fall. It is one of my favorite seasons, and so I'm really happy to see everything up. And I have about 12 minutes until the pie could potentially be done. I may or may not have to put it in longer. And so after all of that, then I gotta let it cool for 2 hours, and then eventually I will do a taste test. Well, it's all done and it looks so good. It's actually starting to bubble over a little, as you can see over there. So that was kind of my sign to take it out, because I was thinking that the top would turn brown or brown a little bit more. The edges did, which is really good. So hopefully the top is just as good. So yeah, I'm gonna let this sit for about 2 hours. It is around 2:30 right now, so a little later I'll taste test it and tell you guys what I think. So the pumpkin pie turned out really good, and I'll say that the gluten-free crust really didn't have anything too different about it versus with regular wheat crust, which was a really good thing. Usually when I bake things with gluten-free, it's not too bad, like um cookies and desserts, even bread sometimes you can get away with. But this turned out really good. Thank you for tuning in and watching this video. I appreciate it very much. I hope that you have a good rest of your week. I'll see you in the next one, and bye-bye.